Come get with us. It's the Mad Hatter Show's podcast. It's another edition. We're here to have fun on select Wednesdays. Mad Hatter Shows is an entertainment company bringing shows to the Midwest and all over the country. We do live stand-up comedy. We do sometimes pro wrestling shows. We've had unique events like sketch comedy. We've had some improv stuff. We've had music shows. So a lot of different things going on. And right now what we're doing is plugging those things. If you're watching this on a page besides Mad Hatter Shows, it's probably a venue that we've actually scheduled a show to come to. Either that or maybe it's on the page of an artist who's going to be performing with us or is on the podcast tonight. So let's go ahead and let's advertise a couple things coming up before the next podcast. This weekend, the Irving Theater in Indianapolis, there's going to be live stand-up comedy with Ep8. Let's show her a little bit here.
And apparently she's some famous actress, and I didn't know who she was, but her name's Angelina Jolie.
All right, you can hear that story perhaps. This weekend at the Irving Theater, Ep8 will be here from Southern Fried Chicks. She's also been on CMT. She's been on the Oprah show. And her feature is an ugly dude named Neil Snyder. So I'll be on that show. If you've ever wondered by watching this show, hey, is that guy funny on stage? You can come find out. Saturday night, 8 p.m., the Irving Theater. Tickets are at madhattershows.com. And then the week after, we've actually got 5 shows in 5 cities with the headliner from last week's podcast. His name's Chris Kattan. We're going to get him pulled up here, I think. There he is. He's probably driving to the show right now, listening to some Taylor Swift. So Chris Kattan and Friends. He'll be headlining a show. Our shows will have either 4 or 5 comedians on each one, depending on the city. There's going to be locals on as well as his traveling partner. And then also he's going to be closing each night. So you know Chris Kattan from Saturday Night Live, from Corky Romano, A Night at the Roxbury. So Chris Kattan and Friends. He's going to be in Hobart, Indiana. He's going to be in Terre Haute, in Richmond, in Lafayette. And have I named all of them? Franklin. That's the last one is Franklin. But I think I left another one out. So you can actually find all 5 cities on madhattershows.com. Wednesday, May 19th to May 23rd. The guy that uttered Franklin is probably doing so because, surprise, surprise, in the studio we have one of the friends from the Franklin show.
Yeah.
And there we go. Trent Mabry, the Indianapolis comedian, is going to be on that show.
Yeah, good personal friend of Chris Kattan.
There you go.
I'll be on the Franklin show.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you have Chris in your phone? Maybe you can call him right now.
He's busy dancing right now at the Roxbury.
It's apparently that's or in that street. Yeah. Apparently, like he's dancing right now.
He stopped driving to the show and started dancing.
That's going to be a lot of fun. So this is kind of a rotating seat. At first, we thought this was going to be Jamie D all the time, and then she decided after season 1, we're calling it season 1 when COVID shut us down, we didn't have anything to talk about. After season 1, that's been kind of a rotating chair. So this is the first non-birthing parent that is in this seat is Trent Mabry, trying to use woke language because you're used to the Indianapolis comedy scene, and I want you to feel at home. But you're leaving them as well, so that sounds like you're leaving. And we're going to talk more about that here in a little bit. But that doorbell that you and I heard, and I don't know if the crowd heard it, the crowd at home, the masses that are watching this, they may or may not know Darryl Worley has just called in. So let's go ahead and pull him up. Let's not make the guy wait. Darryl, you're 3 minutes ahead of schedule, and you goofed us all up. How you doing?
Oh, I can let you go, but I may not get back on time.
We love you. We want you here. You did not goof us up. We're only kidding. But I was introducing Trent. He's like a new face, and now no one knows anything about him. So, Darryl, meet Trent.
We'll fix that.
All right. Thanks for calling in tonight. What would you normally be doing on a Wednesday night?
Well, to be honest with you, we have a place called it's called the Horse Camp on the creek, and we go there and we got trailers and campers and stuff, and we take our horses down there and we all ride a lot of trail rides and stuff from that that area, and I was there. They were having a big crawfish boil, and I had to leave there. It's about I guess 20 or 30-minute drive to where I'm at, but I had to come here to get internet service.
Oh
So.
no. You could have stayed for 3 more minutes and eat crawfish. Now I feel bad, but I'm a
I
Cajun.
can eat a lot of crawfish in 3 minutes.
There we go. Darryl, I actually met you. I'm sure it was the highlight of your pre-show at the Country Rewind in Indianapolis a few weeks ago. I don't know if you remember me, but I'm the way shorter guy than you. What I actually noticed was, like, if you were playing in a 3-on-3, like the league that Ice Cube has, and it was you, Wade Hayes, and Brian White, you would be jumping center. Is that fair to say that they would make you jump?
Yeah, I got a pretty good vertical for a guy, my size too. Most tall guys can't jump.
There you go. That's interesting information. So you guys ever in your downtime, are you ever hooping? Are you ever like, is that day past, or are you still out there?
We used to a lot. We used to do it a lot, and we also kept football on the bus. I could throw. We had a couple of guys that had incredible arms. We all threw pretty good, so we would throw the football a lot, but we don't do it that much anymore. I would play ball if I had a chance. I mean, bring it on.
Yeah, that's where are you located right now?
So we've had some issues because of the storms with our internet service at the farm where my house is. And so I came up to my mother and father's house where I grew up, just about a mile north of Pickwick Dam. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but we're about 12 miles south of a little town called Savannah, Tennessee. So I'm in Southwest Tennessee. I am geographically right where the states of Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee, all three come together.
Oh,
so
nice.
That makes any sense at all. That's a lot of redneck influence right there. You can't get away from it.
Definitely. I'm just like, when you're like, I don't know if that direction makes sense. I was like, it makes perfect sense to the people that need to know that information, right? Like that's how you invite somebody to like a moonshine party in the woods, right? Like that's the address you give.
If you're
right?
looking for a crawfish boy,
you don't give them something to put for in ways. You know what I mean? Like that's not how you do it.
Well, I can't. Yeah, if I said I'm 12 miles south of Savannah, Tennessee on Highway 128, I'm pretty sure Waze would go, that does not compute.
And that's good, because I'm sure the folks watching here right now, like, you don't want to tell them exactly where you're at. There'd be like somebody's going to be knocking on the window before this is done. So you've got some fans. I remember the guy in Indianapolis who I had to run off a few times when you had your private meet and greets that you had sold. He had several songs of yours that he liked. But yeah, which basically, if people didn't see the previous show, the Country Rewind Tour is what you're on. It's you and 2 other guys on stage at the same time, and you're all playing with each other on each other's songs. That kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
some of that.
It's kind of a neat thing. It's not like one guy comes out and then one guy leaves. Like, you're all on stage at the same time. Tell me how the Rewind Tour's been going.
Oh, it's been great. I always kind of avoided stuff like that because I guess part of the reason was I wanted to always include my band as much as I possibly could in anything I was doing, because those guys got to eat too, right?
Right.
but I didn't have any idea how much fun that could be. I mean, I love Wade and Brian and Andy. They're great human beings. We've all been beat up a lot and done a lot of miles over the years. And so after doing 20 years of that, you share a lot of different things, whether you know it or not. And then you get out there together on the road and you figure out, gosh, we got a lot in common. But I mean, they're just good people. And, there's no overhead. I mean, it's just us guys and our guitars. So I would be wide open to something like that in the future, because it's just been a ton of fun. I mean, and I love their music. That means a lot too. If you are doing songs and stuff that you can relate to. I mean, I couldn't do that with just anybody, but it's been a lot of fun, and I love those guys. It's been a great experience. And I love, I've enjoyed getting to know their tunes and singing a little harmony. They're the guitar players. I think Andy and I, we just we bang on it enough to get by. But Brian and Wade both are like just crazy, musicians. So it doesn't intimidate me. It's just I started late and I'm not ever going to be that good.
Well, you're pretty good. 18 charting songs, I guess is the right, if I can make that a verb.
People don't understand that a song like "Have You Forgotten" can be a blessing and a curse. Sometimes when you have one that stays at number one for 7 weeks in a row, when you come back and try to have another single, a lot of times you get the answer that you get is, well, that ain't no "Have You Forgotten." And so "Awful Beautiful Life" was the multi-week number one song that got us past "Have You Forgotten."
Nice. "Have You Forgotten" was your first big hit then? I guess if you're making a list, like I can't remember. You have so many songs that charted different places. Was that the one that was like the big one before that one?
Well, the first big hit was the number one single was "I Miss My Friend," and then "Have You Forgotten" was kind of a fluke that came on the heels like not too long after that, and it was just. It was more like a phenomenon, It wasn't just a hit song. It had a lot of different lives and limbs and things that it would take all night to try to explain. And we didn't have a clue what we were doing at that point, so we had to try to figure out how to negotiate that and to deal with it. And but I'll tell you, I never dreamed that it would be that difficult to follow it up. And so "Awful Beautiful Life" was a song that I wrote with one of my heroes, Mr. Harley Allen. And, he told me that day, he said, "We've got a hit on our hands here and we're going to have a big smash together." And, it was just a good day. We wrote a great song and I still get a lot of recurrent airplay with that tune. So I'm thankful for it.
So you're still getting checks because of that song.
Still get one now and then.
Yeah, I remember "Have You Forgotten." They used to play it on the school bus all the time. It was a great song. You mentioned starting late. How old were you? When did you realize you wanted to start pursuing music?
Well, I guess the whole musical direction and the dream, if you will, was there for a pretty good while. I early on in my life, I thought I might want to be a comedian or an actor, or I just thought, I don't want to do what my dad does. I don't want to go clock in at the paper mill every day and then clock out and work overtime, stay gone from my family all the time. Even though now I got a job that keeps me away more. I just wanted to do something different and something fun and sort of dynamic, and I was getting out of high school when it dawned on me. I'd been writing these theme songs for pep rallies and stuff. I could kind of control who won the spirit stick every ball game because I could write the jingles for I could do it in 10 or 15 minutes. I said, man, maybe I have a knack for this. And so when I got out of high school, I started piddling around with songwriting. And by the time I was finished with college, I thought, I actually took a year off between college and I was going to go to med school. And I started writing songs and pitching some of my songs to the publishers and what have you. And things just started rolling pretty fast. And I never expected it. I thought, a year from now, I'll be back in school. I'll be trying to get into med school somewhere. And I never went back.
Yeah.
I guess the dream did okay or whatever.
So you're writing for pep rallies. What year was that?
That would have been in like 81 and 82.
So
that's way back.
81, 82. It's not till 1999 that your debut comes out. Like, what was the path like to get there?
Well, even before, even in high school and even I was younger, when I started like setting in with bands and playing around home in different places. And of course, my dad was a pastor, so we did a ton of stuff in church. But I guess the time between getting out of college and then like 2000 was busy. I played gigs everywhere. We worked 3 or 4 nights a week. I was writing songs constantly and doing the publishing thing. My first real publishing gig was with Rick Hall and Fame Music down in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, which was very, very cool to have that kind of in my resume. But and then we went off to Nashville to do the big EMI thing, and they had a production company, and that's kind of how the deal happened. The crazy thing that most people don't know is that it took a while, and it does for most people. I did a lot of showcases and what have you, but when I signed for with DreamWorks, my first major label deal, I was 35 years old. They thought I was 25.
Yeah. How old are you, Trent?
26.
26 years old right here. So he's you've got plenty of time to hit superstardom.
Oh, dude. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I was totally over my whole aspirations of being an artist. I just wanted to write somebody a big old hit song and make some money. And, like yourself, I looked very, very young. I was fortunate, I guess, as far as that goes. They didn't seem to even question it. And the day that I signed my deal at DreamWorks is the day they found out I was 35 years old. And they didn't say a word. I thought, oh, well, this may go south, but they didn't say anything. Of course, the ink was drying at that point. Right. I guess it didn't matter. But yeah, man, you got tons and tons of time. I think, and I also think that these days with the internet and all the things that are going on, I don't know if you have a major label deal. I mean, you could get one easy because, they're all about signing a really good looking young guy.
So that's one of us on the stage right now.
It almost doesn't matter. I mean, because you know what? There's guys out there that are probably in their 50s that are just making great music, and it's happening because people don't really care about that. Record labels have a weird way of thinking too much. And so I believe it. I don't think anything that music really affects with people and passion. I don't think it has anything to do with how old you are, but you're young enough to get it done for sure.
Awesome. So you release some songs that do pretty well when that comes out. And then in 2000, there's a release that you've got your name on. I think there could be a debate on who's the best country singers of all time. If you were making a top 20 list, though, I would imagine very few people would leave George Jones off that list. You know what I mean? Like that's the guy that's pretty well universally like that is a fantastic performer. How did you get to where you're writing a song for him?
Man, I was at EMI Publishing there in Nashville, and they were like the largest publisher of country music in the world at that time. And so we had lots of different connections as far as plugging songs to different artists, what have you. And me and a couple of my friends, J.B. Rudd and Vip Vipperman, we sat down and wrote the song. And, our idea was to get that thing on one of my projects, on one of my albums at the time. But in the meantime, I thought, hey, let's pitch these songs, man, and get some money flowing. And so I think it was JB that had sort of a direct line to the Possum at that time, which I got to know him very well. And we became really close friends. And I always had songs that were prospects on all of his albums after that, but really and truly, he didn't have very much stuff that did anything big after that. That song we're talking about, Sinners and Saints, was his last big radio single. So that was a blessing.
So now, like, you're the answer to a trivia question for all time and the country music on Jeopardy or whatever. Like, that's tremendous. Is there anybody else that would maybe be on your bucket list? Like, you're like somebody that maybe would still be attainable that you could work with that you really looked up to?
Well, I always wanted, as far as getting a song recorded, I always wanted to get the both of the Georges. I wanted to get King George Jones and King George Strait. And I had a shot at a George Strait record, and my producer suggested that I keep the song for myself because we were in the process of recording my first album. And I don't know, man. I thought then that was kind of crazy, and I still kind of think the same thing. But I was always a huge Keith Whitley fan. I always said, dead or alive, I'd give anything if I could have done maybe a duet with him or something. And there's other people out there that that I always just held very highly. I'm a huge Haggard fan, so he heard a song. A buddy of mine played him a song that I wrote called "If I Could Tell the Truth," and Haggard said, "Tell that fella that I said I wish I had written that song with him." And that was a pretty big, that was a sweet deal. And so I've been kind of working that song back into my regular show and stuff. It's a favorite of mine, but it never was a single, so people don't recognize it. You know how that goes.
Does that drive you nuts? You record all these songs, and then the label goes, "This is what people are allowed to hear," and then this is what people can hear on the radio.
It really drives me nuts. I think, and I was about to say that the best ones never make it to the radio.
Well, so somebody's watching this. They're watching because they randomly like Mad Hatter shows, or they're waiting for Michael Winslow, who's going to be the next guy calling in. They don't know who the heck you are. What song should they go back and listen to? And maybe not one that made you famous, like the one we had up on the screen. What's your best stuff? What should they look up on Spotify or whatever?
So I'll just give you a few. They should check out. If I Could Tell the Truth is a great song, and I love that real serious, like hardcore traditional country stuff, with a honky tonk edge and anything crying in your beer kind of. I mean, I'm just all that's those story songs that I love. So If I Could Tell the Truth is one of those songs. The Way Things Are Going, that was on my first record, and it is an incredible country song, I believe. And also Back Where I Belong is another one. I could go on and on and on.
So your favorites aren't necessarily the label's favorites, I guess.
Nah, not usually. You usually wonder, why in the world are you going crazy over that song? And their whole thing is, let's put out the song that's the most commercial, because it'll be the song that the promotion people will have the easiest time with. They try to, the game plan is to have as many huge hits as possible. And I always thought that was odd, because if you find a song that everyone's passionate about, it doesn't matter how hard they have to work. They're going to do it because they're passionate about it. And so the whole thing, to me, a lot of it never made sense to me. And, because of that, sometimes there was a lot of debate and a lot of, I wasn't a young guy anymore. And so I didn't mind standing up for what I believed in, and we fought it out a lot. I imagine they probably thought, oh my God, tomorrow is a morning meeting with Darryl Worley. I'm going to put a gun to my head or whatever. But we made it through, and we had a lot of hits. So that's a good thing.
So if somebody did get online right now, they don't know Darryl Worley, they start doing some Google searches, they're going to maybe run across some other photos that Trent ran across before we started here.
Don't put this on me.
We're going to pull this up here. Tell me a little bit about this photo
how
here.
They try to put that on you, right?
Yeah, right.
So obviously,
I would have to go get my my little reading specs. Hang on a second, because this is probably something that I don't want to miss.
Oh, you're not even seeing what's going on yet. Luckily, there's just this photo and Trent and I for like people to screen grab for a long time here.
You zoomed it in, so now I can see it even without my glasses.
Tell me about this experience, because Trent and I have not been asked to pose for Playgirl yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh boy,
we're trying to keep the girls on the feed right now. So this is obviously. You got paid for a major magazine for this. How did that come about?
Oh, it was just a bunch of promotional stuff, man. They approached us about doing it, and I said, well, show me some of the stuff that, you guys have done with other artists, and they did. And I said, I don't know. I don't care anything about all that. I said, anybody can, pull their shirt off and do a picture. And I just told them, I said, heck, if we're going to do it, let's do it. Give me a few weeks to get in shape and we'll do this thing.
So that was a couple of weeks worth of getting in shape, huh? That's
it's more like about 8 or 9. They wanted to do it, but they wanted to do everything on their terms. And I said, no, I have to do some of this on my terms or I won't be able to pull it off. So I had to get busy, but it was a different kind of an experience for sure. And it got a lot of publicity, some good, some bad. And if I had it to do over, I probably wouldn't do it.
See, that's what I told Trent. Let's not put it on the show. But that's what
Neil got that from his bedroom.
Some people dig that up just to try to stump me or throw me. But I always just say, you know what? I probably got a lot of better things from my career to talk about, but if that's what you want to talk about, we can do it.
It's probably a nice check, though, wasn't it? Like that's another plus with that.
No, it does. It wasn't a paying gig. It's about the publicity and the promotional value stuff that you get from it. Honestly, and they have it's a weird thing. We paid a little company that does this kind of research to kind of analyze the whole thing for us, and they said it was probably upwards of $900,000 in publicity.
Holy cow!
So at that time, it wasn't necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
No, that's a cool footnote as well. So, Country Rewind Tour is you, Brian White, and Wade's not on the next show. It's Andy Griggs is on the next one.
I think Andy is with us in Evansville.
Okay, and the Evansville show is June the 18th, and that's one of the only show right now you can't get on MadHatterShows.com, which is what we're going to be saying all night. Get your tickets at MadHatterShows.com. So you need to go to the CountryRewindTour.com to pull up tickets for this show, and they're still available, correct? In Evansville, Indiana?
I haven't heard anything. I mean, we have definitely sold a few of these things out, which is hard to believe in this, time that we're in. We sold one out in Kansas City, but it's been really good. I was blown away by how well received it's been, and I think part of it is people would do anything to get out of the house.
Well, you can go to a dogfight out of the house. You guys have a good show.
Thank you.
Awesome. So yeah, it's over your career then. Basically, you got all the music. What's next for you after you get done with this tour? What are you looking forward to? You're not retired yet. You're still producing. You're still creating art.
Oh,
recording.
We got a ton of stuff going on, man. Hang on a second. I got to check something out. Dear God, I am red as I've been on the tractor. My goodness, bush hogging, and I'm burnt up. I guess I got a little more sun on the old face than I thought. So it's not high blood pressure, I promise. Okay.
His last interview, MadHatterShows.com.
This is the last one. No, I got about 3 or 4 projects that we've worked on off and on for years in the can right now. So that stuff's gonna be slipping out here. As we roll along, things are different now. You release music differently. It's like just one song at a time, as many as you want to put out there. And we don't have any kind of ties to the record labels or anybody that can say you can't do that. So we do whatever we want to do. I got my first Christian project is underway, and it was something my mother really, really wanted to experience before she passed. We lost her almost 2 years ago now. And so I've just really been inspired to do that. So that's coming. Some of that music is getting us gigs right now. I've never done very many like Christian gigs and going to churches and stuff like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I grew up around it and in it, but man, that's a whole different vibe. Yeah. And when when you just play something that it comes from your own life's experiences and it moves a room full of people, like we've had some huge responses to some of the Christian stuff. So I think that's going to be a fun, almost completely different, channel of my career. My mother was 80 when I played her some of these songs, and she had some health issues going on, and she stood up off the recliner and put her hands up in the air and said, "Thank you, Jesus. My son's music career is about to begin." And I'm thinking, well, heck, maybe she's right.
There you go. Yeah, I told Wade last interview that we had him here. His version of "In Christ Alone" is fantastic. I know Brian White's done "God of Wonders." So, are yours old hymns, or are they contemporary worship songs? Like, what is the stuff that you're recording right now? Can you say?
I wrote most every bit of it by myself.
So they're all original songs.
Most all of them. I think I may do one hymn, and the rest of the stuff is, just. It just at some point it just started just pouring out, and I was like, what in the world? Because even sometimes when I would sit down with friends or co-writers that I had written with for years, I would I'd just throw something out and they'd go, "Oh my God, I love that," and we wind up writing a spiritual song, so I mean, which I've never been ashamed of that or afraid of that. It's just that's just not been that's not what I've been doing. So, and I think a lot of us too, you grow older and you start to think about your mortality and different things. And I've always had a very intense spiritual side. My mother was one of the most spiritual human beings I've ever known. And those things are in me. I just haven't really given it a lot of thought. And like I said, it just kind of started pouring out. And I thought, I need to write these things and at some point compile them and do something with them. So I've played songs around to different folks, and they're like, "My goodness, man." I think it would be a project that would really touch broken people, because I'm broken people. And I think, we all are in some ways, but I think there'd probably be a song on this project for everybody out there. So who knows? We'll see what happens with it.
So countryrewindtour.com, if you can get to the Evansville, Indiana show. If you're too far out and this is the last thing that Mad Hatter has got anything to do with Darryl Worley that you can come out to, how can they find your future stuff? Where are you available online? What should they look for when you release new stuff?
Well, the girls in the office are clamoring about everything all the time. So you go to darrylworley.com. It pretty much stays well updated on dates and, projects and all this other stuff. But also I've been TikToking some lately. So, and I've kind of fallen off of that. I was building my numbers really good. And then I just got busy and couldn't do it every night. And, but we're on all of the social media platforms. Our Facebook page is doing very well. And, I think the girls take a lot of the content and spread it to Instagram and other places. So you can find me out there on all of that stuff. And if we have anything going on that people need to know about, it'll be up on some of that, So.
Awesome. So follow Darryl Worley everywhere. You got anything to wrap up with, Trent?
Thanks for doing this, man. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, great talking to you guys. And hopefully it'll help the show up in Evansville. I think it was one of the ones that we rescheduled. And so, we played a show in Indiana just recently that went really well, so I look forward to getting back up that way.
Awesome. Thanks so much for stopping by, Darryl. We'd love to have you another time.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
I'd love to do it again. Just let me know.
All righty. We'll let you back to the crawfish boil or whatever comes next.
I ain't going back out there, dude. I'm just going to chill the rest of the night.
All right, man. Take care. All right, Trent. What'd you think of that? I dominated the interview here. I'm going to need you more for Winslow here, but you're more of a comedy connoisseur than Darryl. So when he said he might be a comedian, could you see that? Could you see him being personable?
Yeah, I think he got some chops. He could fit in with the blue collar guys.
There you go.
Yeah.
Put him on the tour.
Yeah, he doesn't have high blood pressure, unlike you.
He claims he does not, but
I believe him. He looks like he posed for Playgirl. I believe him.
You know what? I actually had a photo back here. Jason's got it. If he hadn't been in Playgirl that month, this was the second choice right here in 2005. Right here.
Wow.
That's that guy right there with the black beard before it went gray. That is probably
Jesus,
horrifying.
That's
let's take that down.
Yeah.
Everybody's logging off right now. No, Winslow is coming. It's
not after that. He saw that and he hung up.
So you know what's going on. You know a lot of the Mad Hatter stuff because you're my Facebook friend, and I trust that you haven't unfollowed me.
Not yet.
And you can see all this stuff that we put out there. We're staying busy, but you're staying busy too. Last year, you won a contest. Tell us about that.
I won. I did. I won Indiana's Funniest Person contest. I'm the funniest person in the entire state of Indiana.
There you go.
Soon to be moving to New York, where I believe I'll be like third or fourth.
That's a good safe bet.
Yeah.
You don't want to go for number one there.
Yeah.
That's where Gaffigan's at right now, right?
Yeah.
Like you might be second. I don't know.
I think it's probably Seinfeld and Gaffigan,
and then
I
Trent
might
Mabry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like that. That's probably a good ranking, I would say. Now, I have a show coming up in Winamac, Indiana in July, and I'm going to be telling everyone that Haas Ridgway was the funniest person in 2020 because he won a separate, like the Indianapolis Star Contest or whatever. So, so basically, it's almost like you're the WBO title holder, and he's the WBA title holder, and at some point, you're going to have to fight to unify the belts. But it sounds silly, but still, you went several rounds, right? Like you earned that. It wasn't
3 rounds. There's like 66 comics.
It's not bad. That's like an NCAA tournament championship right there. That's like you made it through the Final Four.
Yeah, and I didn't even have a bye week.
Yeah, not to be fair, people knew you from your film career. And obviously, like when this came on, people were like, "Holy cow, is that Trent Mabry from the Major Motion Picture Whacked?" And yes, it is. It is him. For the 3 or 4 people at home that have not gotten their bootleg copy of this movie, we've got it queued up, and we've got a scene from that film now that we're going to show.
I have a clip. I've always wanted a clip.
It's going to the clip.
Looking for a good time?
No.
This is going to be a long lead-in, I think.
And no.
We had to put some women on those. So you had to put them on. Uh-oh. Yeah.
Fuck! Okay, get the fuck out.
That little face you just made.
Damn, bitch, chill.
I heard you, dipshit.
Boom.
Yeah.
That was the 3 lines, which were 3 more than I got in that film.
Yeah, you just walk. And thank God I'm not wearing the same shirt. It could have been a strong possibility.
Hey, look who's here. We just pulled up somebody with a few more film credits than you and I have. Michael Winslow is here. Thanks for calling in, Michael.
Hey, what's up, man? What's going on? I love that. I love that. It was very good. Whatever else, that was good. Can we run that again?
Oh, thank you.
So are you saying you want Trent on your next project? The next time you get in a film, could he say "Damn bitch, chill" on your next movie?
Actually, that would be a good song. Bitch, chill.
I feel like you need to get this copy written tonight. Like that's. Holy cow, Michael Winslow! I never thought like this is really cool. Like I was a kid watching Police Academy, which I probably shouldn't have because the first one was kind of dirty.
It was an R-rated. Yeah, it was an R. That was
you've been around for a while. You've lots of credits, lots of stuff. You're still at it right now, and
well, yeah, I've been doing this since 19 around there. Yeah, you know that year. What's up?
And I was a kid watching you, and now I look older than you, so that's not fair.
Well, time flies when you're having none. keep training, man. Keep training, man. You know what? I recommend Chinese kung fu, or at least Tai Chi. It's good for you, man.
I believe it.
Not kidding. Not kidding.
I know. You how'd you start? When did you realize you wanted to start doing comedy?
Well, I'm just getting used to what you've got here. I'm just looking at you guys here.
Uh-oh.
It's strange.
You're reading the room.
Yeah, I am. So what's up, man?
He's talking to you, Neil.
I'm looking in the wrong camera. What else is new on this? This is
Well, everything's backwards, so or as our phrase, bass-ackwards. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
I do. This was a G-rated show until we played the Trent Mabry clip, and now it's adult time. So it's
Well, guess what? You know, how are you going to rate this? I mean, can you put the genie back in the bottle?
it's all to hell now. So.
Which would be.
So you do stand up, but you do other stuff. No one else really does what you do. When did you figure out you could do what you do?
I'm what you call a voice instrumentalist.
That's not something that there's a ton of, right? How do you realize you can do that?
Well, there's a lot of contenders now, so you have to. Well, I'm enjoying the fact that technology finally caught up to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So nowadays, I have to keep an eye on what everybody else is doing. I have to keep an eye on what you're up to. I have to keep an eye on what you're up to and what everybody, tech-wise. I'll give you an example. This is the Chaotica eyeball. For those of you that can't afford an isolation booth and can't afford RLX and Sonex and that soundproofing stuff, which is they charge you by the inch. So this Chaotica eyeball it's a formed soundproofing right into a ball, but in the center, microphone.
Whoa.
You can put any microphone in there, right? So if a truck goes by, anything else, you're able to at least resurrect your sound. Not bad for $100 and something.
Really?
So it gives you tools, and for those folks that are making videos and on social media and doing all this other stuff, because that's the way the world changed to the point where you have to use this medium, this square space, this space in a square. You have to use this as your communication medium because you can't go outside. Well, welcome to the new golden age of television.
You made a good point. Now TikTok and YouTube and all these other apps and that kind of stuff.
TikTok, YouTube, 3Tube, my phone, you phone, it phone, butt phone, leg phone, knee phone, connected to the iPhone.
They're doing stuff that you used to do without that kind of technology, and so you've kind of inspired this. So you call yourself the godfather of this, right?
But everybody knows every young Spielberg out there, or every young director, and every young producer out there knows that if you're gonna do phone videos, you're gonna make stuff with your XLR, your DSLR, and everything else. You know that your sound is gonna be garbage unless you do some things. Now, this is a USB microphone, believe it or not. Plugs into your phone. Technically, technically with one of these, you could actually you can fly the space shuttle. So
Wow.
if you got a TV station inside of a little tiny thing like this, what could you do with it? I make noises. What do you do?
Very cool. You got me speechless here.
We make a podcast.
There you go. We could do the podcast and
And that's exactly what you're doing. So, time for you guys to make some noises. Now that I got you, and you can't leave. You gotta make some noises.
we put you on the flyer advertising this shit. So this is so you got
Family
a live show.
Too late. Genie's out of the bottle. Noise time.
Live shows, June 11th, June 12th, with Mad Hatter shows, Indianapolis and Louisville. Not just straight stand-up. You're doing crazy stuff on those shows, right?
Music show. Basically, I've had to kind of break the rules in an organized manner. You know what I'm talking about? The whole pandemic thing just turned us all into folks that have to now be MacGyver. You have to the old MacGyver or the new MacGyver. Well, I like them both, but the old MacGyver had some skills, some stuff that he kind of still keeps in his pocket. That folks are going, wait a minute, I didn't know that was in that episode. Whoa, yeah. Well, you got to do that with your entertainment skills. You got to do that with your broadcast skills, with your voice skills. You got you got to do it with this. So basically, I'm going to break the rules in an organized manner. But there will be music. There'll be stand-up. There'll be a little bit of improv, some technical stuff, some what you call multimedia stuff. We'll take some movies and do some things over. We'll have some fun. And basically, we're gonna do a lot of music. Hope you Led Zeppelin fans are gonna be happy. I hope that folks are just gonna enjoy just making noise as music.
You know, my mom, who her email doesn't always make it back and forth, and she doesn't know how to text real well. We use Twitter basically to communicate because, like, she's figured out Twitter and it always works. Right before we announced the show, I knew we were going to have you on some shows with Mad Hatter, but we hadn't announced anything yet. She sends me a clip of you doing Zeppelin, like it's like viral. My mom that doesn't know technology has found you. I mean, you're everywhere online. Like it's basically, you probably know the clip I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. Norway, and I had no idea it was going to be like that. You know, I didn't speak Norwegian, but I spoke rock.
Exactly.
and to my co-musician Odd Nordskog was his name, in case you were wondering, the acoustic guy. He's the show's music director. So he's like the equivalent of your Paul Schaefer. He's the equivalent of your like on the
Questlove.
On the late show. He's your Questlove. He's the guitar guy, But he's the head. He's the leader of the band. So of course we only had 10 minutes to prepare for that.
Wow. Really?
Yeah,
10 minutes and probably millions of hits.
That was an awesome clip. Speaking of music, I also saw you jamming with Eddie Van Halen one time.
Yeah, that was 19 somewhere around there. Yeah, we were at the NAMM show. Well, see, I'm just telling you that if you practice your noises, folks, if you practice your noises, you can do things like this. I just happened to have gone too far. But we were at the NAMM show in Anaheim, California, and that was back when I was wearing my one-piece zip suits back then. Because back in the day.
Also, Michael Jackson had his jackets, and Jermaine had members only.
So it was back in my zip suits, my one-piece zip suits, because we were heavy into the funk back then. Prince hadn't quite come out yet, but that was where I learned my noises.
Awesome. Well, we got a clip right now of one of your most recent performances.
By the way,
here.
just in case you're wondering, we made so much noise, me and Eddie, that the rock vendors on either side of us, on the outside of the showroom, they complained and told us to stop.
Really?
Making too much noise, because it was an open jam, so anybody could come in and jam. They had two double kick drummers. They had two double kick drummers. It's just open for anybody to come in and play. A stack of Kramer amplifiers, a Seymour Duncan bass, and anybody could come in and play. And a lot of folks showed up. Let's see, Tim Bogert, a lot of drummers from bands, and even John Entwistle from the Who. He showed up too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there were a few folks. If they ever go through the list of folks that walked in there to jam, it was a jam, and I recommend y'all get out there and jam.
Awesome. Jason's going to pull up a clip right here, and I want you to watch it and then react to that also. We're talking about music right here, but this clip refers to what you've done in movies previously. So let's have Jason pull it up right here. It's just a short, 30 seconds here.
Remember the movie Gremlins? I was in that movie. Did not see me, but you heard me. Okay, two kinds of gremlins. There was the nice, cute Mogwai, Howie Mandel, Mogwai, remember? Yeah. Do you remember the other gremlin? The mean, nasty butthole gremlin with the Bobby Brown haircut before Bobby met Whitney? That was me. I cannot believe somebody paid me to make a noise. I got paid to go. I just got a check.
So, I didn't know that you were the voice of Gremlins till I saw that clip. What are some other things out there that maybe people don't know was you?
Well, I did a few things, for Hanna-Barbera back in the day. I was an astromite. I was one of two. I was two astromites, It was horrible. It was called the Teen Force, and then I was a monster in Heidi's song cartoon Hanna-Barbera, and then there was Funhouse, a Mace Neufeld film, which came out way back in the day. I got to be the voice of the creature that wore the mask. And speaking of which, recently I did a clown movie called Ginger Clown, which was made in Romania, which was really horrible. It was horrible. Oh man, it's excellent. And Tim Curry was the head clown, and they draw us up like ogre, kind of like troll clowns. And this
is an animated film
in an amusement park, and the accents are horrible. they're trying to act like they're from Chicago or New York or something. They're trying to be American, and the phrases. Let me tell you something. It's so deliciously bad. This movie wasn't released; it escaped.
So how do we watch it? Like,
it's bad. And right now, recently, I have a drama out. I was in a drama called Todd, the movie. It's a psychological drama that deals with issues of addiction and prescription things, and what happens when an unstable person holds a family in a house, and the father has got to figure out a way to get his family out. This is a psychological thriller. How are you going to get them out?
How did you get in a movie like that?
How is he going to save them from this deranged person who did not do well with his therapy? What happens now? And they're stuck in that house. And I'm his bartender.
Wow. How'd your agent find you that? Like, this is a role for you. You know what I mean? Like, that sounds really cool, but it's a little bit different than your other stuff.
It's scary. Todd's scary. It's a scary movie. Well, I've done dramas before. I mean, one of the first acting roles I did was a drama where I couldn't be funny at all.
How does that even happen?
Oh my God! Well, you know what? It was. I was taking a big risk and a big chance, but I got there. It was called. It was called Nightside with Doug McClure and Michael D. Roberts from Beretta, and it was about all the night crews. I mean, you have Chicago PD and Chicago Fire, and Chicago, Med, right? Well, imagine all three of those as one show, but took place between 11:30 and sunrise. And throw everything else that's going on in there too, including ambulance claim jumpers.
Wow.
People would beat up ambulances to try to jump claims on the expensive ambulances, and that's what I did. My name was Red Light. Michael D. Roberts was Green Light. Our ambulance was a piece of garbage, but we jumped claims.
So were you a stand-up back then?
You see. So these great shows that are on that you're seeing now, the Dick Wolf shows and everything else, and they're excellent. But I had a chance to poke around, and my first job was a drama, and I could not be funny at all. Fish out of water? Yeah. Well, it worked out. It worked out. I believe I got an Emmy nomination out of it.
Nice.
So it worked out fine anyway. But it scared the crud out of me. But you go 40 years later, and you have this.
Odd. Okay. So that's out on DVD, clearly. He just put up the Ginger Clown sign.
Let me see if I can do this. Other side. Oh, there we go. No, this side. Oh, there it is.
So back when you got that first role, were you doing stand-up in clubs, or were you an actor? Like, how were you known back then to land that kind of a role?
To get any kind of a role at all, I was barely able to get an agent. I was barely able to get a job, and I wasn't. I was trying to get into SAG, but you had to have one or two jobs. You had to have 2 or 3 lines. That kind of difficulty. It's like to be able to get in there, to be able to have the job. So there are a lot of folks that will look out for you. If you're going to get in this business, you're going to need a team, and it's a team of people. Even if it's one person, is going to be there to look out for you. To see that you get there. But remember, this is a very strange field of study of craft work. I mean, you have to deal with, a casting person. You've got to deal with someone who can look in your eyes and see if you possibly would look different than being in this office with that script in your hand. If you can read off book, as they call it, if you can read it, if you can look on this side of the camera and not mess up the shot, or on this side of the camera, depending on where your shots are. and lighting. And I mean, are you going to properly be able to light this thing? You know, is it going to be you know, the folks with this new medium understand this, but there's a lot going on when you're looking at a production where they're spending $59,000 or more a day.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there, and when people are using, Panaflex, Panavision Panaflex cameras with where the lens itself is $250,000, and you can see yourself in reflection on it. You have your chance. Run.
It's also interesting to you'll do something and it'll lead to something else. Like the producers of Police Academy saw you open for Count Basie.
Yeah, that was absolutely true. At that point, I think I just stopped living in my car, or just around that area. I was almost somewhere around there. I think I had just stopped, or was pretty much. I think it was right after I'd done an appearance in a Styx movie with the group Styx. Believe it or not, I was in the Mr. Roboto movie. I was the Jimi Hendrix museum robot. Believe it or not. So I had just I just stopped living in my car at that point, and I had just finally barely gotten a place to live, and they saw me at they saw me opening for Count Basie. Before that, they were rewriting the script. Hugh Wilson was rewriting the script for Police Academy, and he and Paul Maslowski, the exec, took a break from writing, and they turned on a movie, and it was a Cheech and Chong film. And I was in this one scene where there was no script. Again, it was all improv. The scene in next movie in the welfare office, there was no script. It was all just. Well, see, they worked. Cheech and Tommy worked off of cartoons. They would take storyboards of whatever they were doing, and they would just look at the storyboard, position everybody, and just go. So, they saw me in that scene. They said, "Wait a minute, this is nuts. This guy has lost his mind, obviously." And Hugh Wilson said, "What else we got on this young man? He's lost his mind. Has he got anything else?" And then they saw me in Nice Dreams, where I was in the acid sequence with Tommy Chong and Cheech in the insane asylum, with Dr. Timothy Leary next to me, the actual Dr. Timothy Leary, the guy who invented LSD.
So Cheech and Chong, did you meet them through comedy stuff, or how did you end up meeting up with them?
I was doing stand-up comedy in the Bay Area, and the casting director for Police Academy, her name was Fran Champion and Pamela Basker, the Champion Basker casting agency, had seen me do some work and decided to suggest me to Hugh Wilson and Paul Maslowski. Now Hugh, the director, he had never directed a feature film before, never. So this was his first feature film, and I'm sure he was scared to death because he was just coming off the success of a TV series called WKRP in Cincinnati.
Right,
great show.
With Howard Hessman and Tim Reed and Johnny Fever and right. Les Nessman, and it was a great show, right? So this was his first foray into feature. So there we go. And he decided, after looking at me for a second, let's go study this man. So they came to my show. I was opening for Count Basie and his orchestra in Long Beach, California, at a hotel that no longer exists called the Red Lion Inn, where the promoter decided that he wanted to be cheap. He figured, the orchestra will be loud enough, I'll just use this Radio Shack realistic system. Where, you remember those things? Pre-Bose? Yeah, right. Before there was Bose, before you had speakers that really knew how to kick it, there were ceiling speakers. Remember the ceiling speakers, for oratory, for business conventions, where it's just the guy with the tie standing there? That's what they tried to use for Count Basie, right? Of course, the realistic system blew. Remember the little dials, the little 12 dials on the realistic. It was the little dials. Of course, the thing caught on fire and said, "I quit." So, what did I do? I'm used to working on the streets. I'm just used to working on the beach. So I had a Roland Cube amplifier, a Roland Cube 20. It was orange. Remember those things? The Roland Cube. Now, a lot of folks use pig nose amplifiers. A lot of folks use Samson and everything else. But, the street folks understand the battery-powered stuff. So I had my Roland Cube 20. I took the microphone while this whole thing was going on, while they were trying to play, while everything is out. I looked at the system and said, "Are you kidding me? This, you got this thing here in my hands here, and it's supposed to power 1,800 watts? Really? All right, I'll fix it." So they're trying to figure out. They can't hear Count Basie. They can't hear his piano. Can't hear him talk. The band is still playing. So I walk up, put the cube amplifier in front of the piano, put the microphone in the piano, close the lid, and left, so we could continue the show.
Nice.
They wrote me into the picture because I wasn't in the original script, so they wrote me.
They created that for you then.
Into the picture as a what you call a scene saver or scene stealer, because I ended up helping him get the show taken care of. So they said, "Well, wait a second, let's have him as an integral portion of a movie, not the whole thing."
Right.
So Jones comes in to cause trouble or to get people out.
And ended up in every Police Academy movie that came out. I think you're the only one that's been in every single one of them, right?
Oh, One's for Infinity and Spaceballs and Malibu.
And the series of the Police Academy also. Did you do the cartoon or no?
Uh-oh.
We lose your mic? I feel like we're having our own moment here with the sound difficulty. He can tell a story.
There we go.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, so that was great. And thank goodness for Mel Brooks saying, "Hey, he's crazy." So they had me come in I hadn't seen the script, for Spaceballs. They had me come in, and I was expecting to do maybe a couple of days worth of work, and I was there almost 2.5 weeks or more. Because Mel wanted to keep everybody together. Because when the folks are hanging out, doing comedy things, it becomes like family.
Right. Was there a lot of improving on Spaceballs?
Yeah. There was some times where he had to make stuff up because, I believe there was a time where they sent a young guy. I think he was 20, a young exec. He was wearing a suit from Sears. He's wearing one of those. Those off the rack suits from Sears. Mm-hmm. Well, he walked in with that, and he said,
Mr. Brooks.
What?
The studio wanted me to tell you that you are approximately 4 pages behind script.
Okay, I'm 4 pages behind. Bring the script. I said, "Oh no, here we go. Oh, so 4 pages, huh?
Yes.
Okay, here. I tore out of the script. Here's 4 pages. Get out. We'll make it up." And that's exactly what we did. We made that whole thing up.
I think by 1987 or whatever year that came out, Mel Brooks should have been able to do whatever the hell he wanted by that point. You know what I mean? He was already a legend by then. You know what I mean?
They can send notes and pressure and say, you know what? First of all, he was already crazy. And everything that was going on there was already nuts. So what are they gonna do? Turned out to be better. Tearing out those 4 pages. Turned out even better. And that happened a lot. The stuff on the cutting room floor.
Oh, man.
So there's no director's cut out there because it didn't actually get filmed.
It was so wrong. Oh, you couldn't. Oh, no way you're gonna be able to release that now. No way. It had overtones of saddles in there, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was surprised there wasn't a horse and a guy go, "I work for Mel Brooks." I was expecting a horse. I really was expecting to see a horse somewhere in Spaceballs.
Lots of film credits. What's your favorite? What's the the one that you want to that you always remember?
I would prefer everyone enjoy the body of work. It would be much preferable for me. To enjoy the body of work because there's more to come. We're not done yet. I'm not done breaking the rules in an organized fashion, and I'm not done teaching people how to make their own noises. And yes, there will be some music things coming out soon, and yes, there will be some live things, and yes, there will be some what you call scripted productions and some other productions that are using this medium. We will get to you, I promise. We'll find something for everybody, a little bit at a time. Awesome. I've never been in a hurry, to be an overnight whatever. Besides, there's no such thing.
Michael Winslow still got a bunch in the tank. He's coming to Indianapolis June 11th and June 12th. June 12th he'll be in Louisville. The 11th he'll be in Indianapolis. So we're going to the Irving Theater. We're going to Diamonds in Louisville the next night. So Trent here. Trent's 26
Diamonds.
years old.
Yeah, man.
He's a young kind of one-liner comedian. He's done My Crappy Shows, and then he started doing some club stuff. He's getting ready to go to the big city. Any advice for Trent moving to New York?
Are you?
Yeah.
Excellent. So you've had your deer in the headlights moment with a yeah, that moment. Yeah, we've all had that moment. So you stand up. You're a stand up. You know what's up.
I think so. No, I don't know everything.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Even if they eat you alive, at least you're going to taste good.
Right.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to the June dates with you. How can people catch up with you in the meantime? Follow up with what all these projects are you've got going. How should people find you on social media and all that?
Well, let's see. On Instagram, it's Michael_Winslow. On Twitter, it's Noisy Man with a Z. Noisy_man. Same thing on Facebook. On YouTube, it's Michael Winslow TV, and on Twitch, I'm just getting started with that.
Wow.
I'm gonna have a lot of fun redoing all the game noises.
Oh, wow.
And mess with people's heads again, and I can do that on Twitch. So we're already on that. It's Michael Winslow TV. So it's twitch.tv/Michael Winslow TV. We've already messed a bunch of stuff. It has some fun over there. But there'll be more things. We have a lot more coming.
Awesome.
And some new things. I don't know if Roger told you I could announce it or not, but I was able to make an appearance on something.
You can announce whatever you want, but
Well, you'll hear about it. It'll be coming out very, very soon.
How about that cliffhanger? So thanks for giving us a call,
and
Michael.
we'll be releasing music too. So stay tuned. I've got some music collaborators that I've had a chance to do some work with, and also thank you to Victor Wooten and Dennis Chambers and Bob Franceschini of the Victor Wooten Trio for letting me make some noises on his Tripnotics album.
Awesome.
And thank you to Michael Franklin, and producer of Mr. John Anderson from the group Yes, whose new album, 1,000 Hands, I got to do a beatbox noise on it. So have fun with that. It's called Makes Me Happy.
Very cool. Lots of stuff to seek out. Thanks for calling in. We'll see you here in June with Mad Hatter Shows.
Yeah, man, get ready to make some noise, man. And by the way, you guys got away. You didn't get to make any noises this time.
That'll be for next time.
In fact, what do you got before we leave? What noises do you have for me?
Oh, boy.
You got any noises?
I
am unprepared and unable to give that. I guess we should have prepped for that, huh? Like that's not a...
Yeah, well, you got that bottle in front of you?
I got this bottle.
Yeah, just do this.
You do it better.
Yeah, no, just go.
It's
Just go.
Quicker.
Let's edit that out. I don't think it needs
That's a noise. That's a noise.
All right, Trent. We all got to do it.
All right.
All right, Trent, what you got? Yeah. Do the drinking noise. See, that's a noise. That qualifies. That qualifies as a noise.
I swear Michael's show is better than what we just did. So, MadHatterShows.com.
Well, next time I'll have you go. No, man, get your own. What'd you call me? You another one. Sorry about that.
Awesome. Thanks for calling in, Michael. We'll see you here in June. Take care, man. I'm gonna have some fun. Bring your noises, everybody. Get ready to have some fun. Awesome. We definitely will. Michael Winslow, our shyest guest so far on the podcast.
You may disconnect your message now.
All right. That was a loaded, those were 2 long interviews we've done so far. What are your impressions of Michael? He's nuts. You're going to be in New York by the time we have the shows, but hopefully you'll run into him in some other capacity.
Yeah, I hope so. He was a fun guy. I didn't like being put on the spot with the noises, though.
Yeah, that's We both shared that.
I think I was better than you, but
You were, and I put you on the spot previously to that, too.
Right.
So now you have high pressure because you have the endorsement of Michael Winslow, who said, you know what to do. Like, you're a stand-up, you'll be fine. So,
yeah.
Awesome. So we were talking about you. What other ways can people follow you? You've got a podcast, too, right?
Yeah, I have a podcast called There You Go with Trent Mabry. It's an advice podcast. People write in like Dear Abby, and I give them advice, and I have other comics on there and stuff. And they can also follow me on Twitter at Trent Mabry, and on Instagram, Trent_Mabry. That's Mabry. And I'm going to be on the Chris Kattan. I'll be opening for Chris Kattan in Franklin on the 22nd.
Right next to the park pool in that big building that we packed with Pauly Shore. We're going back.
Yeah.
You were on that Pauly Shore show, right?
I was on the Pauly Shore show. That was fun.
Yeah, so they're going to get another chance. You got new material since last time? You got some
a little
new
bit,
stuff?
yeah, a little bit. No,
Awesome.
it should be all new, I think.
Awesome. So Trent Mabry is one of Chris Kattan's friends. That show is coming here in just like a little over a week. What is today? Today's the 12th. You're on the 22nd, so yeah, 10 days. We got some other shows we want to bring up. Let's have you start with the first one.
All right, say Donnie Baker. We got Donnie Baker coming up.
I've basically got so much going through my head right now, I have to say it, because if I wrote it down, it would be longer than a scroll from a dead seal. I swear to God that's true. Between law enforcement and my neighbors, basically law enforcement, last Sunday I'm in a strip club. Don't judge, we had a gift card. I'm in there for maybe 4, 5 tapes, and the bouncer shows up. Don't even show his badge number. He just taps me on the shoulder. He's like, I don't know where you're from, but here we don't grope the dancers. I'm like, well, somebody has been, because heck, 3 of them are pregnant. It's like, her water's going to break, and I know you ain't licensed for a shower stage. Because you have to post the permits. It's state law. And to interrupt me in the middle of Molly Hatchet is unchristian.
All right, so Donnie Baker.
Yeah, Mad Hatter has dates with Donnie Baker all throughout 2021, starting in June with Lafayette, Indiana. That's June 4th. Plainfield, Indiana, June 5th. Cincinnati, Ohio, June 18th. And Evansville, Indiana, June 19th. Plus Bowling Green, Kentucky, June 25th. Tickets at madhattershows.com. Also, you got events in Missouri, Wisconsin, South Dakota, Texas, Minnesota, Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, of course, Indiana, and Kentucky.
Awesome. So we're going national with Donnie Baker. Let's see the new clip, Jason.
The new clip, which is what?
No, I thought you just told me you were going to run one.
Oh, okay, that one. Sure. Here we go.
The familiar face right there. Casey's, John and I went there to a show not too long ago. It's a really fun venue there, very spacious. You can get out there and enjoy a good show here. So we got the Country Rewind Tour. It's going to be Andy Griggs, Darryl Worley, and Brian White. You can get meet and greets, a private before the show to get an actual. I mean, it's not just you go up there and shake a hand and grab a photo. They actually you can talk for a while. It's a really cool thing that you can do and have that in addition. And then they've got the like the in advance tickets and the day of the show tickets prices. So go to countryrewindtour.com and get tickets to see Darryl Worley, Brian White, and Andy Griggs will be on that show. We've also got Christopher Titus making his debut to the Mad Hatter shows. Got him in the background there. Christopher Titus in Hobart, Indiana on June the 10th. And then just announced since the last time we had a show, Oshkosh, Wisconsin, November the 18th at Time Community Theater. So you can get tickets for Christopher Titus at madhattershows.com.
We also have Dustin Sims. He's a YouTube star and viral video comedian. Dustin Sims brings his stand-up show to the Irving Theater in Indianapolis, August 15th. Tickets are already going fast at madhattershows.com.
of Dustin. Dustin has shot up to superstardom here. I hadn't heard of that guy not too long ago. Now he's got millions and millions of hits online.
Oh,
like
yeah?
he's his star is shooting up. So go see him at the Irving while you can, while he's still able to do a small theater like that. Also coming to Cincinnati and Louisville, an old friend of our series here. We've had several shows with him. Second Chance is going to be rejoining us here, and this is a music show. So I don't know if you're familiar with Second Chance, Trent.
I am not.
He's a country singer. He's a country rapper. He's an R&B singer. He's a Christian rapper. He's a rock singer. He's whatever. He's eclectic.
Jack of all trades.
Absolutely. Just ridiculous kind of like, it's just, he's got a song with Twista.
Okay,
but he also has a song called Country Girl Magic. So, he's all over the place. He's got a DJ. He's got, like rap samples, and he's also got slow tracks that he sings on. So he also, just a little trivia, trains for MMA fighting. So yeah, like just a really interesting dude. He's a lot of fun on stage. So we're going to have him in Cincinnati at the Redmore on August 20th, and at Diamond's Pub and Concert Hall in Louisville on the 21st. And we'll be excited to do another show with him. Our guy Drix, who was on the countdown up front, one of our favorites that we've had on the show before, he's going to be an opener on that as well.
Awesome. We should hook him with Darryl Worley.
I should have asked him about country rappers and if he knew some of these new cats.
Could be like the new Nelly and Tim McGraw.
There we go. This is like, you should pitch that.
I will. Get him back on the line.
When you get to New York, where apparently like that's just where all the action is, just get that thing going on. Get an agent.
We also have Pauly Shore coming up. Star of TV and film, Pauly Shore, who I opened for, a very funny guy, brings a stand-up show to Saginaw, Michigan, Wednesday, September 15th at the Court Street Theater. This is the first Mad Hatter show there. You can get tickets at madhattershows.com.
Trent didn't want to read the other thing I put on there.
I still have a career.
Michigan, I'm just glad we're able to do shows in Michigan, and I may or may not enjoy the governor of that state. Let's pull up the next person here. Mick Foley. We're bringing him to a lot of places. We're bringing him to Wisconsin. We're bringing him to Buffalo Grove, Illinois, right outside Chicago. We're bringing him to some Indiana dates. Mick Foley, of course, famous from being in TNA and other organizations as well. He's the hardcore icon. He's coming to tell stories about his career. He's also coming to sign autographs and do meet and greets. There's 3 different price tiers. You can find them at madhattershows.com. So you can just go and enjoy the show, or you can go get some memorabilia signed and have some meet and greet time with one of the nicest and biggest personalities that's ever been in the pro wrestling industry.
We also have Ginger Billy coming up. He got famous filming himself being himself, the red-headed redneck who breaks the internet every time he posts. Ginger Billy will be live October 14th at the Irving in Indianapolis and the Art Theater in Hobart, Indiana, October 15th. You can get tickets, of course, at madhattershows.com.
I think that guy could beat me in arm wrestling.
I think most everybody, except for me, probably could be.
Ginger Billy, absolutely. He's that show has been just recently announced, and people are sharing that like crazy online. So we'll be excited to get him there on a Thursday and Friday in October. Another guy that we're just now bringing, basically another newcomer to the Mad Hatter Shows brand. We're blowing up. Everybody's coming to us. They're coming like, we want to perform with you. Preacher Lawson, who some of you have seen on America's Got Talent. You've seen him on Last Call with Carson Daly. This guy got a lot of network TV stage time and has kind of blown up there. So clean comedian. You can bring your kids to see this guy. Very funny, very personable.
It is funny.
He's going to be in Hobart, Indiana on November the 7th. That's a Sunday night. So you can bring your kids, let them stay up late that night and come into school late the next day. Preacher Lawson with Mad Hatter Shows.
And we also have Ep8 with you, Neil Snyder, this Saturday in Indianapolis at 8 p.m. Get your tickets, of course, at madhattershows.com. And also we have Chris Kattan and friends, 5 towns, 5 nights, including May 22nd with me, Trent Mabry, we'll see you in Franklin.
Awesome. So how'd you feel hopping on and filling that seat tonight? Is this maybe the highlight of everything you've ever accomplished in comedy?
Yeah, it's this, being Indiana's funniest person, and then doing a show at a Chinese restaurant in Crawfordsville, Indiana.
Chinese restaurant. See, I thought you might say Mexican, and I have put him on both. So, and I think I put you in the burger bar in Crawfordsville too. Right?
I didn't do the burger bar.
You didn't. Well, you'll have to come back when you are super famous.
I will
come back and do that show ironically, or if you come back with your tail between your legs, I'll put you in a burger bar and you can.
It's going to be one or the other.
Talk about how I was in New York once, but no, I think you'll do great. I appreciate you've hopped on a lot of shows here, even though of our age difference and we're not the same guy, but you've always done well. I enjoy your comedy and I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, man. It was fun doing it. Thank you.
All right, let's calm with that. This has been a wild night. We had Michael Winslow talking a mile a minute. We had Darryl Worley coming from a crawfish boil or whatever, and telling us a lot of stuff. This was a really, really fun show. We hope that you'll go to madhattershows.com and buy some tickets. We also hope that you'll check out some previous shows we've had. We're on Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, whatever. Wherever they play good podcasts. As Enzo said, good podcasting. That's us. And so we appreciate you stopping in. We'll see you here in a couple weeks. Couple more titans in the entertainment industry will be with us. I'm Neil Snyder. Trent Maybe. We'll see you next time.